Hello everyone, Jennifer McCreath. Tuesday, October 10th, 2017. This is, I guess, my first official video after losing the election 3 weeks ago. It's taken me this long to kind of let that sink in and decide what I want to say about it. Yeah, there's I guess a lot of information that I have not put out there publicly during the campaign, and now that the campaign's over, I can come clean. Yes, I did run for a seat on St. John City Council, but in reality I did practically no campaigning, very little work. I had an online presence, I used my blog for some posts, I shot a couple YouTube videos, I was active on Twitter and Facebook. However, I didn't do any of the physical stuff. I did not put any signs up. I, amazingly enough, did not knock on doors. I'm actually in a recovery mode from a state of exhaustion, physically and emotionally. I really wish I could have put a little more effort into that campaign. I feel badly, and I almost feel that I've disrespected the process in some ways by putting my name on the ballot without doing the work I would expect of myself. And I want to say a big thank you to the 5,400 people who did vote for me. I've come a long way in 4 years. 4 years ago I ran in the same election and put one hell of a lot of work into it to get 5,700 votes, I believe. Bittersweet. I've talked about leaving Newfoundland many times, and I've talked about whether or not Newfoundland is the right place for me to live. I've been here now 10.5 years, amazingly, and I guess there's been a lot of great things happen to me here. The biggest challenge I've faced, though, has been what appears to be a very low ceiling in terms of career prospects. It's no secret that I came here 10.5 years ago and had an excellent job, and shortly after coming out as a trans person, I lost that job and have not been able to get back to that level ever since. I hold a college diploma and a bachelor degree, and since coming out as trans and losing that initial job I had, I've only been able to find work that requires high school. I've had over 100 job interviews. I've even won 3 or 4 competitions only to have someone say, no, we're going to hire the second best person. I've put myself out there publicly. You may find this hard to believe, but I'm not a people person. I'm actually rather shy, and I go out of my way to avoid people as often as I can. Why politics? I like the concept of the policy work. I like analyzing policy, I like creating policy, I like enforcing policy, I like doing audits and compliance. I've had an extensive work history as well as educational experiences. I took courses in public policy. I've studied public policy. I've worked for the government of Newfoundland and Labrador in privacy and information management, compliance, policy development work. I've also essentially been forced into a role of transgender advocate and activist just so I can pave my own road, let alone, hopefully, help the road of many others who have followed. I think it's amazing. In 10.5 years, we've gone from practically no trans people in the public eye to several, to the point where they are now being recognized and profiled on television. They're being given awards. They're making movies about some of them. It is what it is. Bottom line, I think another thing I will point out, this is the first election in Canada that I'm aware of where a transgender candidate had run an entire election with not once it being brought up that they're trans as an issue. We've come a long way, folks, in Canada. We finally allowed women to vote. We elected women. We finally felt comfortable electing visible minorities, We've elected gay and lesbian politicians in almost every province. Heck, the NDP just chose a new leader who has a Sikh religious background. We are coming so far. We're seeing so much in terms of diversity being accepted and embraced, and so many people with diverse backgrounds being seen and recognized for the value they bring to the table as human beings. Unfortunately, the one thing I have not been able to do here in Newfoundland, I don't know if it's because I am trans, or if it's because I'm a mainlander, or it's because I'm just someone people don't like. Things have not happened for me here. And my most recent employment has been in a role that is very unconventional and very difficult. Not a job that someone with my background and training you would expect to have. Working evenings, overnights, weekends in a 911 telephone environment has proven to be extremely difficult and stressful for me. Amazingly, my co-workers and superiors have said I am one of the best at the job that they have ever seen, and for that I can't help but feel very appreciated and flattered. However, the job doesn't like me. Difficulty with insomnia, anxiety, depression. We've heard a lot of talk about PTSD, and there's just so many things about that type of work that makes life extremely difficult for me, and it has caused my physical health to take a major pummeling to the point where my life is now in jeopardy. I'm overweight. I've got high blood pressure. I've got all sorts of other risks. And because of that, I had to leave there and look for other work, which I am now doing. Putting my name on a ballot was essentially a job application. It's a part-time job, but it pays enough money that you can live a pretty good life as a St. John City Councillor alone. That didn't work, that didn't happen, so I am now looking for work. 90% of the jobs I'm going to be looking for are not going to be in Newfoundland. There's just not a lot of work here for university-educated trans people, apparently. I'd like to stay here if there's a good job for me. I've put down roots. I've worked so hard to establish and demonstrate that this can and should be my home. At the same time, you have to maximize your employment potential during your middle years. I'm 43. I have to think about getting out of debt somehow. I won't be able to invest in savings, and I won't be able to retire comfortably if I spend all of my working years in debt. I've got student debt. I've got various debt. I've been barely making enough money over the past 8 years to break even on my bills, and deal with debt has just not been possible. I know with my background that I'm capable of earning enough money to get myself out of debt. I still have visions. I still see myself where most young professionals see themselves. Trying to get out of debt, trying to find a solid footing, a career ladder that they can start climbing, get out of debt, save up some money, buy a house, buy a car, have a family, and live happily ever after. I've got a meowing cat here. I always thought when I would be 43 I would have a house, I would probably have 4 or 5 kids, but that just hasn't happened yet. I'm 42 going on 15, 16, 20, I don't know. And bottom line is my time here in Newfoundland might not last much longer. I am looking for work. If you are an employer looking for someone with good credentials in terms of not just public policy, but business. I studied business admin at Humber College. Cat! I also have experience dealing with cats that misbehave. Yeah. My resume's out there. It's on LinkedIn. It's on my blog. I'm going to be applying to jobs in Newfoundland. I just don't know why things haven't worked out for me here. A lot of people are celebrating City Council. We got more women. We got more women. Yeah, great. guess what? There's no ethnic minorities on city council. There's no gay, no lesbian, no trans. We are still far behind Newfoundland in many ways. And will the 5 women on city council do a better job than the 5 or 4 males they replaced? I don't know. Time will tell. I have concerns about some of them. Specifically, as I campaigned online, talking about the concerns of partisan provincial politics engaging in attempting to hijack and take over municipal politics. We have known members of the NDP and PC party who ran several candidates that got elected. I guess it's going to be interesting to see. We've got NDPers and we've got Conservatives now running city council, and are they going to be able to vote together? Can they get along? I don't know. Bottom line, I'm not celebrating today. I'm not happy. I'm disappointed. I'm frustrated. And I'm heartbroken. And I'm basically, as I seem to do every year, start to rebuild that life. See what we can do. So there you go. My official post-election video blog. It is what it is. I'm glad I ran. I hope it somehow opens some doors or keeps my name fresh and puts my name in front of some people that may be willing to give me a chance. I don't know. It's not what you know, it's who you know, unfortunately. And I don't know. There's my video. Thanks for watching, everyone. And for those of you who did support me, I really appreciate it. And I will sign off.